David. Thanks for joining us. When do you believe the next time is that we will be able to get on a plane at Newark or JFK or Dulles or whatever and land in Paris or the UK? When can we go to Europe again?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I had Nostradamus on speed dial, I would give you a quick answer, Brian, but it's impossible to figure it out. I'm very upset with some of the actions that have been taken by the EU. Let me give you an example. China is okay as one of the 15. They have 3 categories, and they have this yellow, amber, and red. I think they're all going to end up at gray sometime. But China is okay. The U.S. isn't okay. But if you look at the statistics, which I did this morning, of the deaths per million, China's at 3. Does anybody believe China's number? So my challenge is, on the one hand, countries have a right to protect their borders. There's no way to argue that. The question is what methods they use, how they use them, and do politics enter into the equation at all, which they usually do.
So what's their, and we can debate the China numbers all day, but that's a different segment, David. What is your beef then with the EU?
Well, as an example, I'm here in Ireland at the moment, and they took a vote, and Ireland is excluded from that list, not because we have done a good job on the COVID contagion, which we do, but rather because we're tied in with the UK, and we put in this 14-day quarantine rule, as did the UK, which of course I think is nonsense. Mike O'Leary at Ryanair agrees as well. But that was the reason that they gave, that you can't come in or out of Ireland for the moment. As far as the United States is concerned, and what you asked earlier, Brian, I didn't want to blow off that question too fast. I honestly don't know when that is going to change. I can assure you that our government is in close contact with Brussels, trying to lobby through this issue, because we used to have over 2,000 flights a day across the pond, and now there's a couple of hundred. And one other point I'd like to make, it is impossible to schedule an airline. People don't appreciate the complexity of the airline business and scheduling. And they're going to change this every 14 days. So on the 15th day, say, okay, we're going to take these 300 flights in American and start flying. Where are the crews? Where's the maintenance protocol? It's an extremely complex business. And people just don't understand, including the EU. Does not understand the complexities of how to run an airline.
Well, let's talk about demand, because back on April 7th, we had 97,000 Americans go through a TSA checkpoint domestically. That was down from over 2 million. Now, the good news, I guess, is 2 days ago, we had 625,000. So a gigantic recovery off that. I mean, we remember the days where you'd see pictures of one guy, you know, on a flight with 2 cabin stewards. Americans want to fly. They want to get back on planes. Do you think that as cases continue to spread in the American South, where it's hot, we're all trapped inside, that people will continue? Or do you think they're going to back off and those TSA numbers might go back down again?
I suspect, Brian, that they're going to back off a little bit. But here's what I would propose. When people walk into a terminal, they're already antsy, afraid, anxious. I mean, forever they've been that way. We've just added to that tension greatly. As long as the airlines require masks, which I'm in full support of, and I think the FAA should endorse it as well, by the way, like they do with non-smoking, masks, other protocols that should be applied worldwide over time, then the customer is going to feel safer on an airplane. You know, 99.9% of the air is filtered through there like once an hour, 30 times. Fantastic filter system, better than hospital rooms. So I think the challenge is to get that word out to the traveling public. But there's going to be trepidation. And every time you look in the newspaper and say, oh, my God, the numbers have risen, it's a problem. It's a problem for the industry and the employment of the industry.